Hey, everybody. It is time for our Saturday morning date live. I'm going to change my settings on my profile so that we can get going and everyone can tune in. We're coming to you guys live today from where? Where are we at, Chris?
From Dallas. Yeah, from CBF Live.
CBF Live in Dallas. All right, I'm here. I'm just going to change my privacy to public.
So I'm sure that if you're here at the conference, you're probably getting dings on your phone right now.
Yeah, the conference is on right now inside the doors. It's live. There's about 400 people in there, 400 cleaning business owners inside those conference doors. And we're out here in the lobby going live for our Saturday morning date. We missed it last weekend because we were packing and just doing lots of personal stuff, and we didn't want to miss this weekend. And if you don't know what Saturday morning date is, it is just part of mine and Chris's rituals, routines. We do a morning date. We try to do it every morning. And on Saturday mornings, we decided to take it live to you guys. And we just talk, real talk, family, kids, business, marriage, health. I've had so many people ask me about my health journey here at this conference.
Yeah.
That's Saturday morning date. So put your questions in the comments, and we're more than happy to dive into them, to chat. But before I get started with your guys' questions, I wanted to just share what I announced from stage yesterday.
Yeah.
So yesterday I got to speak, and I announced the pre-order of my book, One Layer Deep. And also, I'm going to grab it. It's right here. I have to lean up. And also the launch of our new kids book. Well, you can't really see the glass, but our kids book is up and live. I am so excited for the kids book. Yaya did the read aloud, like the audible for it, and the trailer.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
It is absolutely the cutest thing that you have ever seen in your life. The kids book is about my daughter is you wouldn't say she's a business owner when she starts. She's a cleaner, and she's cleaning houses, and she does so well that she needs to hire. And when she hires, she's a horrible boss, and she doesn't know how to manage people. Sounds like all of us, right? And it's the story of her learning how to lead, and it's called Leading Like an Elephant. Is the name of the kids' book. We're super excited and super proud of her for that. We launched it yesterday from stage. So if you're interested, I'll drop the to Leading Like an Elephant as well. And then yesterday I also launched the pre-orders of my book, One Layer Deep. And it's the Kindle version right now, but we're super excited. Lots of things going on. But yeah, we can jump in. If there's anybody watching, put your questions in and we can get started. Is there anything that comes to mind you want to talk about, Chris?
I mean, so there was a lot of stuff that, people have been coming up to us and saying thank you for just, sharing openly. But again, I think the diet has really come into play.
Yeah. So I've had a ton of people come up and ask me about carnivore. Like, how do you do it? What is it? They can see the difference in us and me and us. And I think it's something that a lot of people aspire to take control of.
Yeah.
Like that health, their weight, their mental clarity. And I don't know, what would you say? What would you say? How do you do it? Like, how do you get started? That was everyone's number one question.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't eat vegetables? None? No, none. But what's your suggestions, Chris, to how do they get started? Carla was just up here and she's like, I want to try it, but the doctors say X, Y, and Z, but everybody says this, but everybody said I had to eat vegetables.
Yeah.
I grew up having to eat fruit. And what would you say for them on what's your tip to get started?
Listen to your body, I think, is number one. If you're going to do something, you at least got to listen to your body. And getting started, you got to throw away all the stuff that I think for me, I had to throw away all the preconceived notions and like actually question, why do we do this? Like, why do they say to do this? Once I started leaning into it and figuring that out or learning about it, I was like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and we just talked about this today, and there was a speaker talking about this on stage, and it's, you have to rewire your brain, because we were taught as kids, and this had nothing to do with food from stage, but it also has to do with carnivore. You have to rewire your brain. Like when we were children, we were taught we had to eat all of our vegetables.
Yeah.
Like you have to have broccoli. Like you have to have this. You have to have that. And it's almost like you don't even understand it or can't comprehend it because it's what you were taught as a child. And then it's what like some doctors teach you as well. And I'm not a doctor. It's like you have to rewire your brain, and it's like this. You don't trust the information.
Yeah.
Because you were told this longest time as a child or a young adult.
So that's one thing that I learned was, I guess, with critical thinking, it's question everything, not because you're skeptical, but because the more you understand the reason, it becomes easier to kind of jump on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's one of those things where you have to rewire your brain. And for someone like me, I did it purely out of, just to be completely honest, vain, purely out of weight. I just wanted to look good. Like, I don't care. Honestly, it was healthy for me at the time. I just needed to lose weight. I couldn't keep using the baby excuse because Gaia was like already 3. She wasn't a baby no more. And that's kind of where I started, or how I started it. And then I listened to my body and I saw the difference. Now, my journey was much longer than Chris's. I always tell everyone, I really, really encourage people to just cut out sugar first, or your sugary drinks or carbs. That is so hard. To go straight carnivore, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I went 3 years, no carbs, no sugar. So it was like a gluten-free kind of diet. And that helped me prepare for carnivore.
Yeah, I'd say that that's one thing that I realized too, is like we were already kind of in this like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We already kind of ate a little bit clean, drank sparkling water, stuff like that. So if you are looking into this and currently like you're drinking sodas or Dr. Pepper
or like sugary coffees or smoothies, yeah,
it's going to be a little bit of a longer jump, I think.
By the way, there's no sugar in my coffee.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a little bit longer jump because we kind of already started that process. So it was a couple of years in the making, and it was a little bit of a smoother transition. So if you're looking to start, just keep that in mind. Is like, you can go all the way, but just know that it might be a little bit of a kickback from what you're used to, because if you're used to drinking sweet tea from McDonald's, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And if you try to go straight carnivore, you probably will not feel well or get sick. You need to kind of cleanse your body. And to me, it's a slower progression into it. It's not just because you're going to go through ketosis, you're going to have withdrawals. Like it is real addiction. And then you're going to start to notice that like literally everything has sugar in it. Everything has sugar in it. We can't eat nothing. Even beef jerky, it's in my bag. Like we have to find a particular kind that doesn't have sugar in it.
If it has more than 3 ingredients, it's kind of like a...
And you start to question like, oh my God, what was I eating before? Like the crap that was in it. And I always compare, like if my body was like a Ferrari and you have to put, right, we only have one body, treat it like a Ferrari. And, you don't put regular unleaded gas in a Ferrari. You don't put the crummy gas in a Ferrari. You put the like, I don't even remember what it's called, like the higher grade gas, high octane gas in a Ferrari. And look at your body like the Ferrari. Like, are you just putting the crummy gas in your body to just get by? And then you wonder why, like it sputters and it backfires and it's kind of sluggish and it doesn't go as fast as it could go. Versus if I put that high octane gas in my body, man, I'm like a rocket. I am fast. I go 0 to 60. I'm never breaking down, and I can just run at like my optimal efficiency. And that's what I feel like being on carnivore is.
Yeah,
it's like I'm a Ferrari and I have high octane gas, and I'm running clean.
Yeah. I was going to say my high octane gas is A nice ribeye.
Yeah. So, and it's been incredible for people to come up and ask us, like, hey, tell me more, tell me more. We're here for Woot Recruit. We have a Woot Recruit booth behind us. Can't really see it. We're here for Woot Recruit. I was here as CPF as a coach and a speaker, launched my book from stage. What everyone keeps coming up to ask me is like, please tell me more. Tell me more about how you changed.
Yeah.
Tell me more about, like, how did you get to this level? Like, seeing your growth has been amazing. And one, thank you for coming up and saying that. It means a lot. And two, like, good for you for wanting that. Me and Chris love to share, like, what we've learned, like what we do, what's not working, what has worked. And it means a lot to people who put in the time and effort to change themselves and their body and learn. Also, the amount of research we've done on health, our health journey. And everyone has a different journey, right? You don't have to do our journey, but what we love to share is the focus on your journey. If you focus on primarily like vegan, right? Or you focus primarily as a carnivore, they all have their places, but it's intentional focus on that health journey. And then how does that transform not just your body, but your mind?
Yeah.
My God, the amount of work we can get done now and clarity is amazing.
And no more midday crashes.
No midday crashes. And so a great topic for this is, like, we were out, we took Yaya to the Great Wolf Lodge for her birthday. It's like an indoor water park. And me and Austin went outside, and Austin wanted to work on his tan. And he needed sunblock. He's like, Mom, but I need sunblock. I was like, oh, we'll go to the store and buy some. He came back. He's like, oh my God, that was the most expensive sunblock I've ever bought in my life. And I said, well, you bought it from a hotel. He's like, do you want some? And I said, no, I don't burn necessarily. He's like, why? He's like, I'm the same, like, we're like the same. And I said, oh, well, when you're on carnivore, you don't burn as easily. Not that you don't burn at all, but we don't burn. I don't burn at all anymore. But if you were lighter complexion or paler, you still might want to watch it. But it's an interesting, he's like, why does that have anything to do with carnivore?
Yeah.
He couldn't fathom the idea. And I said, when your body has enough cholesterol in it, it can produce the vitamin D you need. It can take in the sun rays, turn it into vitamin D.
Yeah, it's like converting it into.
Yeah. And so you don't burn. I dropped the article in the post I made of me and him sitting at the beach or in the lawn chairs. And it's true, you don't burn. And again, we were told our whole life that cholesterol is bad for us. And it's really interesting. I took Yaya to her 7-year physical on Monday. And the doctor said, does she get out? And I said, yeah, she gets out. She goes, good, because we're seeing a huge, huge issue. It's like an epidemic with a vitamin D deficiency. We have young people and adults not getting enough sun, or the sun isn't turning into vitamin D in their body. We're just reflecting it off with sunblock. And, to hear her say that, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't tell her I was carnivore. Yaya's not a carnivore. She said she's a carnivore. That means she can eat funnel cakes and cotton candy and a steak. Anyways. So I thought it was interesting. So if you think like you're suffering from like depression, or you have a young teenager, how often do teenagers go outside and get sun? And if they do, they're like, put on sunblock.
Yeah.
And if we know that depression, one of the causes of depression is a lack of vitamin D, or what helps depression is vitamin D, but we're not going outside and we're putting sunblock on, and we don't have enough cholesterol in our body because our doctors are saying cut cholesterol. And then we wonder why we see this huge increase in people suffering from mental health or depression.
Yeah.
It's just weird. You see the correlation. And so I really encourage like our kids to go outside, especially our 26-year-old and our 17-year-old.
Yeah. And with that mental disorders and depression, to hear how, like, just in like your experiences and exposure, how you've helped other people and their families who have ADHD, who have ADD, to actually go on carnivore or to actually take that jump. And for them to all of a sudden become so much better, being able to be alert and actually overcome ADHD, that disability that that was limiting their life.
So again, we're not pushing carnivore.
No.
We're like the focus on one thing or the other. We do believe you can't have the steak and potatoes. You can only eat the vegetables or only eat the meat. Pick one. Where we see issues, especially here in the US, is that is how our meals were taught to us. You have to have steak and potatoes, right? So with that, ADHD and like mental clarity, it's been really interesting to watch. Well, what I was going to say is I'm 100% believer that we can fix ourselves. If I get shot, yeah, take me to the doctor and give me some modern medicine. But as far as like not feeling well and disease and diabetes and cancer and a lot of things, I 100% think it's contributing to the food we're putting in our body. It is. And if we can change that, I've changed my whole perspective on food. I just need food to stay alive.
And please don't tell me it runs in my family excuse.
Yeah, it runs in my family. Chris, how does it run in your family?
I have all kinds of disorders and diseases up till sunrise. If I were to say it runs in my family and just lean into it, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, mental health issues or disorders,
yeah. Cancer,
you name it, cancer.
Yeah, and on my side, because I'm half Mexican and Native American, we have the highest statistic of diabetes in like any culture or race. And that's one reason why I don't want to be that statistic if I can control it with food. But everybody's like, but Libby, I love bread. I'm like, you don't think I like bread too? I'm like, but Libby, I love pasta. I'm like, so do I. And when they walk by with that chicken fettuccine Alfredo, I'm like, oh, I want that. But I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I don't feel like crap.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of assessing like what's important to you right now. And I think there's phases. I may not always be this way forever. Mine was an evolution into it. And there's phases. And it's like, what do you want from your life? What do you want from your business? What do you want from your marriage?
And what do you want for your kids?
Yeah, and your kids. And I think focusing on our health first is going to get you what you want from that business. You'll get that return. You'll get that return from your marriage when you focus on you first. You first. Rewrite your brain. Rewrite your thought process. You first. For all my moms, you first. And that's not normal. It's always the kids first.
Yeah.
You first. You said, what do you want for your kids? Our kids, our 3 kids are here with us. They're probably still sleeping up in the hotel room. They're all homeschooled. Well, Billy's 26. He's done with school. Austin does virtual school. Yaya does homeschool so that we could drag them around with us. And they got to see me speak from stage yesterday. And
oh my goodness.
Everyone came up to me. I don't even think they listened to me, that they were watching Yaya watch me. And I was like, I didn't even see her because she's tiny. They were like, she was in awe of watching you. And she was so excited and she was clapping so hard. And everyone was like, when you got off stage, she ran around to you. She even drew notes while I was talking. She drew a picture of my slide and brought it to me. And she ran around. And when I got off stage, she was like, Mom, you did amazing. Like, I was like, oh, thank you. But what do you want for your kids? And I'm going to tell you this, and you could tell me that I'm full of crap, but your health, your weight has everything to do with it. It does. You cannot be successful if your Ferrari is breaking down.
And if you try to dismiss it as it's just too difficult with the way that my life works, then I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you just think, or maybe you're a Ferrari, or maybe you're a Lamborghini. I don't know. I'm not a car person. But I like the analogy of the gas. Like, are you putting crappy gas in your body or are you putting good gas in your body? Because that's going to tell you if how often you need an oil change. A Ferrari doesn't get an oil change. I think it's every 10,000 miles. I know this because we used to have a Ferrari in my past life. It doesn't because you're putting good gas in it, right? And if you don't focus on this, you're not going to get to where you're trying to get to. And if you do get to it, it's going to be 10 times harder. 10 times longer work days, 10 times harder, 10 times fatigue, 10 times frustration. When you see successful people get to those goals, you also see the transformation in their body.
Yeah.
And their mind. It wasn't just as easy as saying, like, turn up sales and turn up marketing and turn up hiring. No. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. It's you're not going to get there if you don't do you first.
Yeah.
And that's hard to hear, because I think that's hard to hear from a business owner. If you're out there struggling, it's hard to hear. Sometimes we need to hear the hard. It's hard to hear, but I think we're so used to excuses. Like, I was using an excuse like, oh, well, I'm over 40 and I have the Latino belly. I'm supposed to be a little bit like, maybe I have 3 kids. I should start to look matronly now. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to look sexy and young, and I want to get old gracefully, like wine. I want to be like wine. I want to age gracefully. And I think you're fed those excuses, and you don't know they're excuses. You think it's the way it's supposed to be, because you hear it from your family, or you hear it from your parents, or you hear it from social media, or you read about it, and you think it's the way it's supposed to be. Like, oh, I'm getting old. Like, I don't know. I've met some really, really interesting older people lately who are just like freaking on fire. Like Joanne Bracchia. Her birthday's tomorrow. She's turning 70 years old. And she is a freaking firecracker.
Yes.
And she's lost 150 pounds.
Yeah. Completely
in the
different
last
person.
2 years, 150 pounds. And I'm like, Joanne, you're going to like blow away and disappear. Like, you got to stop. She goes, yeah, no, now I'm like, she's working on toning. At 70 years old, guys, her birthday's tomorrow. So you need to make sure we wish Joanne Bracchia, the nicest, sweetest woman I know in the world, happy birthday. But she did it at 69. But she's turning 70. And she has energy. She went on the walk with me this morning. She did not make any excuses. She shows up for herself.
Yeah.
And I love that about Joanne. Yeah. Hey, Tammy. I see Tammy on here, and Teresa and Jennifer Tingman. Hope you guys are having a great morning. But, I want to know, do you guys have any questions? Does any of this resonate? Did you need to hear it? Are you struggling right now? And I'm not going to say we have it all figured out. Some days I struggle with certain things, or, we still have doubt or imposter syndrome that creeps in, but it helps when you create rhythms and rituals in your life to push out the imposter syndrome and the doubt, so you don't let it creep back in. That's how you keep it out. Rituals and rhythms.
Yeah, your rituals and rhythms, not somebody else's.
So yeah, my rituals and rhythms. Morning date is like one of those things that are so sacred to me. Like, we just talk about the randomest crap you've ever, like, random. It's a random, like, sometimes it's business, sometimes it's travel, sometimes it's like Chris had a dream that a bear was chasing him. And I'm like, what did you eat before you went to sleep? What were you thinking? Like, and that's our time. It's our microtherapy to just talk and connect, which makes us stronger parents, stronger business owners, stronger partners, but also allows us to have more mental clarity.
Yeah. But I will say this, and I'd like to switch to the idea of like insecurities, especially when you're trying something new, or you're trying to really work on yourself, but you're hit with these insecurities because people keep reaching out to you and like sensationalizing what you're doing. And I always go back to the idea of the courage to be disliked. I know there's a lot of people on the let them theory, same concept, but the courage to be disliked being really being okay with.
I think it's different real fast.
Yeah.
The courage to be disliked is being okay with someone not liking you. The let them theory is walking away.
And you're kind of overriding that.
Like overriding.
Default.
Yeah. It's not going to like you. So you don't like this circumstance. Like, it's not for you. I'm leaving. I'm leading you be. Courage to be disliked is being okay with.
It's being at peace with yourself.
Yeah.
About what the bigger picture is, which is community. And so again, just circling back to that, is the insecurities I had in going carnivore. And just hearing the sensationalism of, oh my gosh, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you don't eat vegetables? Like, why? How?
You should see when we go to a restaurant, the waiters are. So yesterday I wanted a piece of salmon and 2 hamburger patties.
Oh, that's a
So that's what I want. I wanted a salmon with no sides. Like, I don't vegetables, he said. I'm like, no. And so they brought me a piece of salmon with 2 hamburger buns, not 2 hamburger patties. And I was like, no, I want 2 hamburger patties and a piece of salmon. He's like, you only eat meat? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow, how do you do that? The waiters are just like blown away sometimes. But anyways, sorry, Chris.
Yeah, and by the way, the waiter did tell us ahead of time. He's like, no, you guys aren't trouble. We've been through a lot. We know we've done some crazy things. So we taught him something new. But no, it's the insecurities of doing something new and just being exposed to it. Like, because you're gonna have to go there. You have to sit down with your friends. You're gonna have to sit down with other people and then be okay with not being nervous about ordering what you want, not what they think you're gonna eat. Or what
I
you
get
think.
judged for not eating vegetables or fruit. I haven't had a piece of fruit. My mom's on here. My mom at first, when I first started this 3 years ago, I cut out fruit because fruit has sugar in it. We don't actually need anything from the fruit. You can get it from other food. She's like, oh my God, you're not eating any fruit. You're going to die. My mom's on here. She didn't say you're going to die, but she's like, she didn't understand it at first. Now she's trying carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying it. And people are like, you haven't had any fruit? How are you alive? I'm like, I'm actually alive and I'm doing very, very well. But I thought that was funny. But with Jen Teigman, she's like, I put myself first in the past, and it was the hardest thing I ever did. And I think, Jen, it is for women, especially moms. It's like we're wired to be nurturers. And I was absolutely terrified to do it again, but also excited. I understand it's what I need. Oh wait, it's the only way to level up. It is, and I think women, we have a really hard time with putting ourselves first. It's really, really an emotional, like, you're struggling or fighting with yourself emotionally. Like,
And I gotta apologize too for the men out there, because for whatever reason the default
well, I
is.
can't speak on behalf of men. That's why I said for women.
Right,
I know
right.
this is hard.
But no, for men though, like the default, and this is what I've seen my entire life, and the idea of being a man. But the default is to not do cooking, not do cleaning, not do the laundry, not actually pick up after yourself, not and I don't think
I've
it's
had
for all
one of
men.
those in the past.
Yeah, no, and I was that too. But
Not you. It was my
right.
Yeah.
But it's this passive mindset that it takes 10 times the effort for a man to actually move forward and actually do something at the time they're supposed to do it. But it's a default because I think we've settled into the role of mom. We started with mom will take care of it. And then this is the whole tradition. Mom takes care of it. Mom cooks the food. Mom washes my clothes. Mom does the dishes. And so they come into a marriage, a household, and then the wife now becomes the mom. And it's like, mom will take care of it. Mom will do the dishes. Mom will scrub the floors.
Yeah, I just had a great conversation with some people before the conference opened about moms and our kids. They say, Mom, I'm bored. Mom, I need this. Mom, where's dad? I don't know. Did you look for dad? Like, and kids keep resorting back to like mom, mom, mom. And these are a lot of women business owners here. And it was funny because they're like, did you even attempt to ask your dad? And it's funny because even kids, they're drawn back to their mother. Because how many times will Austin ask me something but not ask you? And I'm like, just ask Chris. Like, but I think it's really hard, really, really hard, Jen, to put yourself first. I struggled with it. It was like an internal fight I was having with myself to say that I'm going to get up in the morning and exercise and not make else lunch. She's going to learn how to make lunch herself. Versus then I'm in like a mom's group and I'm seeing how everyone packs their kids' lunch and how cute it is and perfect and they cut the crust off. Meanwhile, Yaya's lunch looks like a 6-year-old made it because she did.
And by doing that, you are not a bad mother.
Yeah, but you feel bad sometimes. You're saying, but I'm going to take care of myself first. I'm going to exercise. And that way I can be grounded, be healthy, and be present versus be partly present. How many moms out there you're like partly present? you're exhausted and you always put your children first. And that's the way we were taught. And then when we own businesses, if you're any women here that follow me and you own a business and you're a mom, you're like even more exhausted. And then what's left for you or your husband? Not very much. Not very much. Nothing.
Yeah. So for the men out there, not I'm talking generalities, but like not all men are bad.
No.
But what I'm saying is like there's just being in tune in this kind of resetting back to the new age of just being aware for the men out there.
I see a lot more men cooking dinners for their wives and cleaning and prepping. I was following some guy on Facebook or TikTok, and he's got like 1 million followers, and all he does is clean house.
Yeah.
He cleans the house, and he posts videos about how he cleans his house. I thought that was interesting. But Teresa asked, Libby, you look great. Thank you. You look good. How did you lose your weight? I'm going to start to eat healthier, so it's hard for me. I'm 62 and I need to lose 60 pounds. Well, Joanne followed me. I love Joanne. She's like, Libby, you inspired me. I'm like, how did I inspire you? You're I look at you like I'm looking up to Joanne. Like, I had no idea that I was like inspiring Joanne for her health journey. And so, and like I said, she was 68 years old when she started this, I think. And she's lost 150 pounds. So the one thing I can tell you, Teresa, first is start simple, start cutting, look at your sugar intake and look at your carb intake. Sugar and carbs, when I did that, I lost 50 pounds. You'll lose some initially and then the weight comes off slower and slower. And then 3 years later, I went to carnivore and then I lost even more weight. So find what works for you. Phase yourself into it. But the biggest thing is you have to be committed. It can't be a diet, right? You can't say, I want to lose 60 pounds because we find everything we lose. You'll find it back again. And that's why so many women, when I was younger in my 30s, I've always struggled with weight. I'm super tall, so it stretches. I've always struggled with being, thicker, heavy. They called me an Amazon woman. And what I remember just eating salads and being hungry. And like I had to eat a salad because women ate salads and I was on a diet every other week of my life, which sucks. Like it's a sucky way to live. So you have to find what works for you, what you can sustain. It's a way of life. It's not a diet. It's a way of life for me right now. That doesn't mean I will eat this way forever, but I'm going to eat this way at least until I go through menopause. Because it's known to tremendously help menopause because of our emotional imbalance during menopause. So a fun fact, maybe it's TMI. And so you have to find something that is not a diet. Don't deprive yourself. Don't look at it like I can't have this. With carnivore, we eat as much as we want. But it's sustainable and we look at it as a way of life. What do they call it? It's the WOW community?
Whoa.
The WOW community.
WOE, which is way of eating.
Way of eating.
It's not a diet. It's a way of eating.
It's a way of eating. So whoa, yes. So Teresa, that's the way you're going to be able to achieve it. And Joanne did the same thing. She started like I did. She cut carbs and sugar. I don't think she's carnivore. But she's very, very protein heavy and carbon sugar free.
And so I want to say this real quick because diets are specific regimens. They're specific things. You're like, I have to count my calories. I have to do this and that. You don't count your calories. You don't track anything on carnivore. I mean, except for a few that need to make sure that they're well balanced because they have certain, let's say dietary like issues with their body or things like that. But you don't have to be so rigid. Like we flex in terms of what percentage we go with carnivore. And it's just listening to our body. At the end of the day, it's listening to your body.
Yeah. And, I didn't count calories or I didn't count anything when I started. I just cut carbs and sugar. You think that's easy, but until you start reading the packages, everything has a carb or everything has sugar in it, like literally everything. And then you look around and I actually think there's a worse addiction in America than alcohol. I think it's sugar is worse addiction than alcohol. And I was married to an alcoholic. And so, I mean, I have firsthand experience, but you look at the sugar addiction that's happening and how much sugar is in everything. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And when I cut sugar and carbs, it was pretty easy. Well, no, it wasn't easy. It was easy to like know what I could eat. It wasn't easy to do. And my biggest struggle, Teresa, when I did that was my family. They still ordered pizza and I was eating something else over here. And this, I am so like, if I smell it, I want it. I could look at it, but if I smell, like a donut or pizza, like, and yes, you still would like, oh, man, I'd love to eat that donut. And then you're like, man, I really don't want to feel like crap. So I'm going to skip that donut. You remember what you feel like when you eat it. And it kind of, yeah, I'm good. But yeah, start simple, start easy. Don't call it a diet. Make sure you don't say, I don't want to lose weight, because we're going to lose what we found. Like you want to make sure that you're okay. You want to make sure that you're looking at this for like long term. Because if it's temporary, it's going to come right back to us.
Yeah. And I think the why you do it has to be defined. It has to be real. Because if you're just doing it for something that just doesn't really drive you much, I think you get lost and you forget about it.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. My why was I wanted to be sexy. I wanted to be skinny.
Which is
fine.
Say it.
I wanted to be skinny. And I was doing it for all superficial reasons. But it's what I wanted. And I was tired of being tired. Like, are you just tired of being tired? And I have to say to Chris, I was surprised at how committed I was. When I made that decision in the sand, I didn't go back. I was so committed to cutting carbs and sugar.
But you also based it on a want, not a need.
Yep. I didn't need to, because here's the thing, when you need to lose weight because the doctor's telling you you might die of a heart attack or you're pre-diabetic, you see people that still don't change because you need to do it. When we want to do something, we find the way to get it. We find a way when we want it because we desire it. It's like saying, I want a Louis Vuitton bag or I need to change the brakes on my car. Well, how many people do you know that keep saying, oh, I need to change my tires or, oh, I need to change my brakes. And we don't do it until like the last second, until like the rotors are screeching. But that Louis Vuitton bag, man, you'll find, and I don't have one because I'm not a purse person, but you'll find a way to get that Louis Vuitton bag.
Might take 3 credit cards, but hey, it's going to get done.
But you wanted it. And so there's power behind desire. The power behind desire. And I desired to be desired by my husband, who's younger than me. So like, I was like, oh, I need to get my act together. Because when I'm older and I'm overweight and I have a business that's consuming me, and if I don't do something about it, it's going to ruin my marriage.
And the same thing's true with me is, anchoring it to the want, not the need. So I need to work out, but I want to get sexy. That's what I say.
Can you read that?
Yeah.
What
Heather said, eat pizza in the past Thursday at my daughter's. It had been months. It's Saturday and still paying for it. Bloated and feel blah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not worth the price, man.
Yeah.
The taste. Let's just say taste.
Yeah. We do eat pizza on occasion, but there's
the hack.
Yeah. There's the workarounds.
Mm-hmm.
You got a menu hack. And it's also, I think, like Domino's and things like that. You have like garlic and other
so we don't eat the Domino's, but like at pizza places, like nice pizza places,
clean foods,
we order a meat lover's pizza with extra cheese and we pick it all off the top and roll it up and eat it.
So Heather, there's still pizza out there in the world that is delicious. It'll make you feel.
It'll satisfy your pizza craving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Teresa says, what meal plan do you follow? We don't follow a meal plan. We eat only animal-based products. So you're talking any meat. So like I love salmon and steak and hamburger, and I still eat chicken, but chicken is the side to the steak. Salmon is a side to the steak or the hamburger. Buffalo wings. So any meat or animal products. And animal products qualify like eggs. You can have sour cream. You can have heavy whipping cream. That's what we put in our coffees is heavy cream or half and half. And some cheeses, like hard cheeses, like cheddar cheese,
Gouda.
Parmesan cheese, Gouda cheese, not American cheese. When we eat American cheese,
Oh my
we
goodness, it hits
just
hard.
die. Like you're sick instantly.
Yeah.
I
will say with Heather, she said going forward, doing the workarounds. She's going to do the workarounds going forward. Tested it, and now she knows. Yeah, I would say, Heather, lean into being weird. I had to learn that it's okay to embrace being weird, or it's okay to embrace being different. And when somebody does give you that shocking, oh my gosh, what are you doing, or why?
That's weird.
Lean into it, play with them, like have fun with it.
So when I go to a restaurant and they're like, they don't understand what I'm trying to order, I will say restaurant eating is hard. It's not hard. It's just you got to like explain it. And I say the easiest way for me to explain it, and then the waiter gets it instantly, is that I'm the opposite of a vegan. They're like, oh, so you only eat meat? I'm like, yeah. Because they don't know carnivore. I say I'm the opposite of a vegan. And they're like, oh yeah, I understand. That's cool. Like I've heard of it. And then they're like, oh, I've heard that. I've seen it on TikTok.
And they're like got it.
Yeah. So if you're trying this in the restaurants or you're having a hard time, just say I'm the opposite of a vegan or a vegetarian. One or the other. I think I don't know if I say vegetarian. I'm the opposite of a vegetarian.
Okay.
Yeah. So because they think of vegetables, because they cannot fathom the fact that I don't want broccoli or don't want rice.
Yeah.
But and here's the other thing we struggle with in restaurants. The cooks, even though we don't ask for the sides, give us the sides because they say the plate looks bare.
And they got to have a presentation.
I'm like, I don't care that the plate, then give me more meat if the plate. And they end up giving it to us. And then sometimes we're like, can you take the sides away? But yeah, the cooks and the waiters get mad because they're like, we told them no sides. And then they said, no, but the plate doesn't look good and it looks bare. And I understand they're trying to do a good job. So yeah.
we don't really knock down the tip anymore.
No.
Because we get it.
No. But so we just wanted to come to you guys, and a lot of people have stopped by and asked us, and now whoever stopped by and asked us, we can just give them this video or this link to say, hey, we just did a live on it. And all the things you see me doing, I could never have achieved and I could never have done if I was not taking care of myself. If my body was not running at like high octane, prime efficiency. And I don't mean just doing yoga is going to do this. I don't mean just going and doing something for yourself. I mean the food you're eating, how you're taking care of your mental health. It all starts with the food. You're not going to get the mental health or all the other things if you don't start with that, what you're putting in your body.
You could go to the gym an hour and a half, 2 hours a day.
I know people who work out 2 hours a day and they're like, Libby, I can't lose weight. Well, it doesn't matter how much you're eating because food has 80% to do with your exterior body. The working out is only 20%. I had a doctor tell me that. I like to choose doctors that don't like modern medicine. And they're real doctor. And he's like, it doesn't matter. You're not going to lose weight if you keep putting crap in your mouth. That's literally what the doctor told me. And I thought it was really interesting. And he was like, oh my God, you're right. And so again, it goes back to food so that you can make sure you're running your body like a Ferrari. So the conference is breaking. People are coming out. And the lobby's getting ready to get loud and flooded with people. So any last words, Chris?
No, it's just if you have any questions whatsoever or not sure what kinds of meals you want to start with or that work well, feel free to reach out to us. Just drop a message here or private message us and we'll help you out.
Yeah. I forgot to say that. If you have any questions at all, drop them here. Chris and I will answer those questions, respond, send you any links to anything that we're following, doing. We're always happy to share. So I hope you guys have a great Saturday morning, and we will see you next Saturday.